So before we get started, check out the following links in the description box below as highlighted in the image shown. So you'll be able to get our past papers, our link to our official website, link to accreditations, our link to donation page, and contact details in the description. So once you'll be watching a certain video of any lesson or of any past paper, you'll be able to get all these links, and you can be able to get to download past papers, to reach to our official website. You'll be able to see links to our accreditations so that you can see which authorities have accredited us. You'll be able to reach to our donation page as well as our contact details.
Hello learners and welcome. Today we are going to do a past paper, ATD level 3. The paper is Principles of Economics. It was done in August 2024. And the paper consists of 50 multiple choice questions, and you are required to answer all of them, and each question has 2 marks. So let's start with question number 1, which reads, which one of the following statements best describes economics? Which one of the following statements best describes economics? Choice A is how society allocates scarce resources to satisfy unlimited wants. Choice B is how to ensure resources are equally shared. Choice C is how resources should be allocated. Choice D is how to increase economic development. We are required to describe or define economics. So choice A, how society allocates scarce resources to satisfy unlimited wants, is a definition of economics. Choice B, how to ensure resources are equally shared, this is a definition of equity. This defines equity. Choice C, how resources should be allocated, this defines allocation or efficiency. And choice D, how to increase economic development, is a definition or a description of growth. So which one of the following statements best describes economics? Our answer should be choice A, how society allocates scarce resources to satisfy unlimited wants. Question number 2 reads, which one of the following factors might cause a movement along a supply curve? A movement, a supply curve is always rightward sloping or positive sloping, and we are given the quantity here. This is quantity and this is price. So what could cause a movement along a supply curve? A movement along a supply curve should be like this, upward or downward. That is a movement along a supply curve. So choice A is existence of favorable weather conditions. Choice B is an increase in indirect taxes. Choice C is changes in price, and choice D is increase in government spending. So existence of favorable weather conditions, this leads to a rightward shift. Example of this, maybe there is rain and there's the supply for umbrella. So the supply for umbrella is going to increase like this. So it's going to shift to the right. The supply of umbrella is going to shift to the right. So it causes a shift. Increase in indirect tax, this leads to a leftward shift in supply curve. Leftward shift because production is going to be lesser. The producers are going to produce less. Change in price, that's change in price. Let's say this is our PO, that is price note, and then if we increase our price to that, this is P1, then our supply is going to increase from QO to now Q1, like that. And if we decrease our price, let's say to P2, then our supply is going to reduce to Q2, and the movement is like this. So the movement is along this curve, the supply curve. Let's try to use another pen, another color. Let's choose red. So our movement along is like this. When there's a decrease or there's an increase along our original supply curve, which is SO. So the price change in price, this is movement along, not a shift but movement along the supply curve. And increase in government subsidy leads to a rightward shift in the supply curve also. This is a rightward shift in the supply curve. So the movement along a supply or demand curve is caused by changes in prices of the commodities, commodities. So our choice here is choice C, which is change in price is what causes a movement along a supply curve. If the examiner also asked about a movement along the supply curve, the demand curve, then the answer is also change in price. The only factor that causes a movement along a supply or demand curve is changes in price. It can be an upward or downward movement depending on the price. Okay, so we move to question number 3, which reads, which one of the following conditions is necessary for price discrimination by a monopoly? Which one of the following conditions is necessary for price discrimination by a monopoly? So I have prepared for you the conditions for price discrimination by a monopoly. Our first condition is market power. Our first condition for price discrimination is market power. That is, a monopolist must have some degree of control over the market price. So the monopoly has to have power over the price. Market segmentation is another condition for price discrimination. Market segmentation. So this calls short on pricing of the commodities. Market segmentation is the monopoly must be able to segment the market into distinct groups based on willingness to pay or demand elasticity. So this is grouping individuals on their willingness to pay for the products. Like in the market, there could be group A and group B or group C. So group A is willing to pay for commodity, let's say Y, at 50 shillings. Another group in the same market is going to pay for the same product at maybe 70 shillings. and the same product in another group or another in the same market but another category of people are willing to pay maybe 100 bob for the same product. Why? So that is market segmentation. And then the market should not be separate. Another condition is prevention of resale. That is, monopolists must be able to prevent or limit resale between consumer groups. So consumer A cannot sell the same product, the product produced by, let's say our producer is producer X. A cannot sell the product produced by X to B or C. Only X can sell to B or C or A. And the last condition that I have prepared for you is, different elasticities of demand. Different elasticities of demand. And we said the monopolist must face consumer groups with different elasticities of demand. That is, price discrimination is profitable when some consumers are willing to pay more than others. The market, that is, C is willing to pay more than B by 30. So this means that product Y is making 30 shillings more from consumer C. So the choices that the examiner has provided us with is, choice A is there must be perfect knowledge about the market. Choice B is the elasticity of demand in different markets must be different. Choice C is the markets should not be separate. And choice D is there must be no barrier to entry into the industry. So among our 4 conditions, the only condition that the examiner has provided us with is the elasticity of demand in different markets must be different. So our choice is choice B. Let me choose another pen. Our choice in this case is choice B. The elasticity of demand in different markets must be different. We move to question number 4, and it reads, all things being constant, which one of the following statements should not induce economic growth? Choice A is increase in the stock of machinery. Choice B is improvement in the level of technology. Choice C is increase in the number of labor force. Choice D is increase in the consumption of products. All things being constant or being equal, which one of the following statements would not induce economic growth? If there's increase in the stock of machinery, then we mean there's economic growth because there's increase in investment. This is an increase in investment. Improvement in the level of technology, this is also an inducement of economic growth. Increase in labor force, that is, maybe now we can say that we are almost at full employment. So this is also an inducement of economic growth. Increase in the consumption of products, this doesn't necessarily mean there's economic growth. Maybe there's increase in population. Increase in population, which has led to the increase in consumption of goods and services. So our choice in question 4 is choice D, increase in the consumption of products. Question number 5. Let's move to question number 5, which reads, which one of the following statements is an advantage of small-scale industries in developing countries? Stiff competition from large-scale industries. Stiff competition, this is a disadvantage. This is a disadvantage to small-scale industries. If they're facing stiff competition from large-scale industries, then that is a country's balance of payments position improve. Choice C is small-scale industries enjoy technical economies of scale. That is not necessarily an advantage. The government provide necessary infrastructure. That is also not an advantage, because this could happen even with large-scale producers or large-scale industries. So the only answer, or the best answer in question number 5 is choice B, that is a country's balance of payments position improves, because maybe we won't need to import anymore as products are being produced locally. So the small industries can produce locally, leading to a country's balance of payments position improving. Question number 6 reads, which one of the following statements is not a limitation of Marshallian utility analysis? The analysis, choice A, considers marginal utility of money to be variable. Choice B does not consider the income and substitution effects. Choice C assumes that consumers will always behave rationally. And choice D, it assumes perfect divisibility of commodities. Which one of the following statements is not a limitation of Marshallian utility analysis? So, choice A considers marginal utility of money to be variable. Marshallian analysis, utility analysis, considers money to be constant. Let's consider money to be constant. The Marshallian utility analysis. It does not consider the income and substitution effect. It assumes that consumers will always behave rationally, and it also assumes perfect divisibility of commodity. So our choice, or our best choice, is choice A. Considers money to be constant, but here it says to be variable, so that's not a limitation of Marshallian utility analysis. Question number 7, it reads, which one of the following factors does not influence demand? Which one of the following factors does not influence demand? Choice A, we have price of the product, Choice B, income of the consumers. Choice C, price of substitute goods. And choice D is production costs. So price of the product, the demand is like this. And we have price and quantity. If the price increases to P1, then our quantity is going to decrease to Q1. Suppose income of consumers increase, then they are going to increase their demand to maybe D1. So this influences demand. Income of the consumers also influences demand. If their income reduces, then they are maybe going to reduce their demand, or they are going to reduce on what they buy of the commodity. Choice C, price of substitute goods. Yes, if we have tea and coffee, that is the normal substitutes, common substitutes that we give as examples, coffee and tea. If we have coffee at 50 and tea at 50, and if we increase price of coffee and we have a demand of maybe 100 people for both coffee and tea, if we increase the price of coffee maybe to 100 shilling, then most people are going to buy tea, which is at 50, maybe 50% will buy tea, which will be 150 people, and the remaining 50 will buy coffee at 100. So price of substitutes also influences demand. Cost of production, the consumers are not mostly, because demand talks about consumers, don't care so much about the price of production, the cost of production. This mostly influences suppliers, influences supply. So our best choice sorry, for question number D is choice D. Cost of production does not influence demand of goods and services. We move to question number 8, which reads, which one of the following statements best describes external economies of scale? Which one of the following statements best describes external economies of scale? Problems a firm experiences due to expansion. This best describes these economies of scale. These economies of scale. That is, these economies of scale occur when a firm becomes too large and experiences increased cost per unit as it expands its output. That is, problems a firm experiences due to expansion describes these economies of scale. Benefits which accrue to a firm as a result of growth in the whole industry is our choice number B. And it best describes external economies of scale. Economies of scale. Choice number C. Its benefits which a firm derives from large purchases, that is purchasing economies of scale. This describes purchasing economies of scale. Choice D is advantages that accrue to a single firm independent of other firms in the industry. This best describes internal economies of scale. So the examiner wants us to choose the statement that best describes external economies of scale. So our choice is choice B. Benefits which accrue to a firm as a result of growth in the whole industry. This is independent or single firm. It's internal economies of scale. So we move to question number 9, which reads, which one of the following statements refers to a demerit of delocalization of firms? Delocalization of firms, this means moving firms from rural to urban centers. So choice A is adverse environmental problems due to concentration of farms in one region, which we call this industrialization. This is industrialization or industrial concentration. Choice B is overdependence of products of a single industry. This is what we call industrial monoculture. Contributes to urban-rural migration. And choice D is production of substandard goods due to protection from the government. This is protectionism. So our best choice that is a demerit of delocalization is choice C, which contributes to rural-urban migration. That is because the companies have moved from rural to urban centers, then the people are also going to move from the rural areas to the urban centers. Question number 10 is, which one of the following statements is true during recession? We have talked about business cycles in our classes, and this is recession. We have peak here, we have recovery, and we have trough. So we are required to talk about recession. This is recession. Choice A is unemployment increases. Choice B, employment increases. Choice C, unemployment decreases. And choice D, salary increases. Which one of the following statements is true during recession? When there's a downturn in the economy, then unemployment increases. There is no employment. The rate of unemployment is less during recession. Employment decreases, that is not true. Unemployment decreases, that is not true. And salaries increase, that is also not true. Have here salaries decrease. So that is it. We are done from question 1 to 10. Let's meet in another video from question 11. So thank you and see you in our next lesson.
So if you like this video, you can always enroll with us. You'll be able to access more of these revision sessions. And also you'll be able to find well done lectures or pre-recorded videos for all the KASNEB courses as well as CHRP. And in case of anything, you can always reach us out. We have our contact details on the screen. Feel free to call, feel free to WhatsApp anytime. So thank you, and let's meet in our next session.